Hello everyone, my name is Monica. It's a pleasure to be here once again. It's been a while since I last made any video, but my apologies to my few subscribers. I'm hoping this is going to be more consistent than it has been. Okay, I'll dive into the topic of today. The topic of today is it's a question that has come into my mind, like what happened to us? And when I say us, I mean we, the black community, we Africans, with a guaranteed fact that any African country, okay, maybe I don't know about the Arabic part of the African countries, the North Africa, I am not so sure, but then I mean the West, the East, the Central, the South, I am very sure like this was an emphasis to every child, to everyone. Actually, it was looked at as it's a ground norm which we existed, which we lived with, because it's harmless anyway. Anyway, the thing is, like, what happened to us with the Africans? What happened to us with the greeting? Like, what went wrong that people no longer want to greet each other? Like, what is so harmful about greeting anyone? It's in the morning, in the afternoon, on a bus, or whenever you're going to meet them. Like, what happened? So this question came to me recently. Like, I've been commuting on public transport like every morning and in the afternoon. That's when it hit me so much that actually people no more greet each other in the morning. Not only in the morning, but any time when people meet. Like, that's how we used to do it. I remember when I was younger, every time our mother sent us outside the house, she said, please remember to greet people. Greet people. She did not even specify greet people who look like this, greet people who are dressed like this. She said greet people. And to some of us, it's part of life. We cannot differentiate it from me and the other. We are inseparable. We greet people. I greet people. So because I greet people every time I'm on a bus, the public transport, I'm on a bus, I endure to greet my neighbor. So now these are some of the people you greet, especially my peers, like the 90s babies, and the much younger babies, the 2000s, and you can say the millennials. Like, they don't get it. Like, greeting, it's not in their vocabularies recently. So I find myself greeting people who are going not to reply. That's the first some of the reactions I expect, who are not going to reply. I greet people who are going to greet back with a smile, and they actually look with a face like, oh, you greet people? Like, okay. I receive such reactions. I greet people who are going to not reply, they just keep quiet, or they just mama if you was like, like, I'm like, okay, I just did my job anyway. So I keep on it, and then I greet some other people who say, oh, good morning to you, how are you? And they're so impressed. Like, one elderly woman a few days ago, she went on and asked me, like, how do you still greet people? Most of your peers no more greet people. And actually that was adding the pressure on a question I already had, like, what happened to us? Well, I have tried to ask a few people, especially my peers, whose being greeting is not in anywhere, and they just forget it's a grand norm. So some of them said, what for? Like, why should I greet you? And some say, is it important to greet people? Some say, I don't have time. But you have time. You enter in a bus, and remember, you are on a bus, you did not greet your neighbor. And some people, they don't know even where they're going, but when they reach somewhere, they're confused. They say, excuse me, is this the bus stop called so and so? And like, in my head, I'm like, really? You didn't think I was important to greet, and now you think I'm actually useful to you just because you need something. Like, what happened to the habit of doing things for doing them, doing things for humanity, doing things because it's okay to know how your neighbor is? You know, just imagine you are on a bus and you are ill, but because nobody talks to the other, you collapse. And maybe people are just going to scream, or some people are just going to, you pass out on your seat. But because you are not talking to your neighbor, they're just going to think you're taking a nap maybe. And who knows? Yeah, you pass out the whole day. You are just on a bus until the conductor realizes, like, oh, okay, somebody has passed out. But now you would have saved the situation. Even the fact that you tell your neighbor, I am not feeling well, I'm feeling dizzy, and some help would come to you. So some people, they say it's backward. Can you imagine? It's backward. Humanity these days is termed as backward. Some people say it's an old way of doing things, which is another way of saying that it's backward, it's not important, it's not relevant anymore. But I just want to, I'm entitled to my opinions, right? Yeah, this is what I think, and I'm so sure very many people out there, they would agree with me. Just because you think you're a very developed, before I even go to into that, I'm realizing there's a lot of I'm sorry for the word I'm about to use, but I can't find a better one. Oh, okay, maybe I will not use that one. But this thing of people who think they're educated and they're actually very ignorant. They think going to school, you have to drop all the morals. Like educated people are not supposed to be morally upright. Like they're not supposed to be held responsible of all these things we have always been held up to. Okay, they say maybe when we go to up country. Why would you think you are so educated to the extent that you cannot even greet your neighbor? Is that education? Or some sort of ignorance? Like that's primitivity, where people live on their own, and I think that's the source and the mother of barbaric manners which keep happening to us lately, where you find somebody just blows up, and it tells why. Okay, in the developed countries in terms, you develop with infrastructures, you have better services, but then humanity is shrinking every other day. So that's what we think it's development. But how about developing with our manners? How about developing with our ground norms? How about developing with things which made us a strong community, with things which made us one people, with things which made us who we are, our identity? Like, what's the point of development and we don't have manners? We are just a nation with no identity. Because this is the mother of so much identity crisis which is going around these days, where people have failed to belong anywhere, and then they are just all confused and messed up, and they just belonging to anything that trends, that looks fancy, that looks normal, that okay, normal maybe is the word to them, but it's just because we have lost it from the beginning. I think it's because it's like a saying, it says that if you don't know where you're going, then you have reached where you're going. So it's the same. If you don't know how your society behaves, what are you going to embrace? You're going to embrace anything that comes before you or that you think is okay. You are probably going to embrace that. But then I think let's go back to the roots. We can develop with our manners together. We can develop with what made us the Ubuntu. Or why did the whole Ubuntu? Maybe Ubuntu is a whole nother day topic to talk about. Identity crisis is also another day to talk. It's a whole topic of its own to talk about. But then, like, these are some of the things that are they're just a subset of the whole other big set, which is humanity. Like, great, you lose nothing. It's like you step on someone and say, excuse me, or I am sorry. Like, what is wrong with saying I am sorry? What is wrong with saying, hello, how are you? How is your morning? Do you have any ideas how you could make somebody's day by asking them how are they? Or you tell them good day. Okay, I have a tendency when I'm walking randomly on the street and I see somebody maybe grooming, you can always notice a hurting face. And you walk over and you tell them, how are you? And then you greet these people with a smile. You're giving them something they don't have. I don't think if suicide would be getting the statistics it's getting today, and then we go on and we start sympathizing, we start mourning, how sorry we are. We even go to attend some of those funerals, and then we could have saved that by just saying, hello, how are you? Just tell somebody, I wish you a good day. People have so much they are struggling with. Like, the last thing they want is to add anything. Okay, not to add anything, because after all, you either greet or you don't greet. You have nothing to do with what is torturing these people. But you could be a day maker. How about that? You could be a day maker. You could change somebody's day. You could make them have some life. You could make them feel better about themselves. Compliment people anyhow. You know, to tell somebody you look good. Like a total stranger. Like 6 days ago, I was walking like right opposite with some lady. I was feeling so low that particular day, and then, you know, I was walking, looking down. You know how when you're not good, you're not feeling good, it's very hard to walk your head high. You're most likely to be walking looking down. And then some lady randomly home, I did not know, she said, I like your style, like, you dressed so good. I was like, oh, thank you very much. Trust me, it made my day. I went feeling good about myself. But it was just 3 words. She said, oh, you look good, I like your style. So how about being day makers? Oh, just great. There's nothing wrong. It cannot be backward to greet people. It cannot be backward to care about people, because we are human beings. And please remember, we coexist. I am because you are because we are. That's the simple fact which we have deliberately eliminated out of our lives every day. And that's why we are facing all this that keeps happening to us. And it's the reason why all these horrible things keep happening to us. If we only remember that I am because you are, we are because you are. It will be that simple. So these are my thoughts. Let's greet people. Let's talk to each other. Let's smile at each other. You don't own the world problems that you're going to walk around gloomy. Just smile a little bit. It makes you feel better anyway. Thank you very much. Please, if you have any comment, any suggestion, any thoughts, please comment down below. We can chat about it, we can talk about it, and we see how we can make our world a better place. You know, as we are seated all back waiting for, crying out to be living in a better world, we could actually create it. Just me, you, we can create a better world where all of us are going to live in happy. before waiting for the government to do that for us, waiting for United Nations to do that, or waiting for whoever we think can fix our problems, we can actually fix our own problems here, today, and by just simple gestures. Because what makes life better, it's not a lot. It's just the small, little, nice, sweet things. Please let us be nice. We are all wonderfully and fearfully made, so every one of us has that sweet, good piece of them. Just check in ourselves. We look for it. I am very sure we are going to find it. And guess what? We will all be happy. Thank you very much.